Oxygen Blast technical seminars are an Intertech production. For instructor-led .NET, Java, and XML courses, visit us at www.intertech.com.
Down here are classes. Nothing's really being loaded right now because I haven't run anything at this moment in time. But you can see that there have been lots of different classes loaded, and some of them are known as shared loaded classes. The difference between loaded and unloaded simply means what classes were loaded and what classes were later released. So when garbage collection went around and classes were let go, the difference between a loaded and a shared loaded is that as of JVM 5, I believe, most of the virtual machines come with a way to share classes amongst different JVMs, different processes. And so those classes go in a special space, and that way you can reduce the memory footprint. So shared loaded classes, in this case, there were 707. We don't do anything special to put our classes in regular loaded or shared loaded. That's determined by the JVM. And then down here next are threads. So I can see how many live threads there are, how many of those are daemon. Just again, some quick hits of seeing what's going on with my system. If some of these views don't interest me, like for example, I don't look at the CPU typically because I'm going to look at, I'm looking for spikes in the CPU and I'm not seeing anything really bad there. So I'm just going to take that one off. I can click in the upper right and I can get more space for my different windows. There are also two different buttons here, Perform GC and Heap Dump. So Perform GC just means run the garbage collector. And when would I want to do that? Well, usually when I'm taking snapshots. So let's say I have a bunch of objects on my heap. And I'll take a quick snapshot of my heap just to see what objects are there. Then I will perform the garbage collection by clicking on that button. And I'll take another heap dump, another snapshot. Once I have those two heap dumps, there's a tool here where I can compare the different heap dumps to see what's grown, what's reduced, what's stuck around, etc. And I can start to look for objects that aren't being released that probably should be released. So you use these two buttons typically in concert with one another, Perform GC and Heap Dump. We have threads. When we're looking here is every single thread that's running inside of your application that's selected. So in this case, what I would be looking for, the first thing I'd be looking for is anything that's red, the monitor, and that means that's a potential area of a deadlock. It's just kind of stopped. So you want to take a look for red. Things that are green are great, they're running. Things that are purple, that's also fine. They're sleeping. Yellow, they're waiting. That may or may not be a problem, but it's really red that you want to take a look at. And if you want to take a snapshot of any moment in time, you click this thread dump button. It takes a quick snapshot, tells you all of the information that's happening with any given thread that you selected. And how do I select a thread? Again, just on the left side, I can click on a thread. By double-clicking on a thread, I actually get some more details. You can see percentages of time. How long has it been running? How long is it sleeping? So if you're dealing with some sophisticated multi-threaded programs and you're dealing with an issued performance, you may want to look here to see, is it sleeping more than it should? Is it waiting longer than it should? Are there any monitor issues of deadlocks? And I got that just by double-clicking on one of the threads. So that's my thread area. And I just want to reiterate what we're doing right now is we're just, going over the different options that are in Java Visual VM. I'm actually going to go then next, once we're familiar with this, we're going to talk about, well, what things are we looking for in each of these areas? What fixes will we apply by finding information in these areas? And we'll look at just 3 code examples that go through this. So Profiler, this is the area that I tend to spend most of my time. This is going to be allowing us to profile the CPU, so we can see what methods are being called, which ones are being called frequently, which ones are taking too long to execute. We can look at our memory and see what objects are being created, which objects are being removed. But before I do that, what I like to do is I go into the settings. When you click the settings, and by the way, you have to do this when the profiling has not started yet. If you start one of these profilings by clicking on either CPU or memory, you will not be able to change the settings. So here I can change either CPU settings or memory settings. With the CPU settings, what I want to do is I want to start profiling once a certain class has been hit. And so I'm not really as interested in the org Apache stuff. I want to see what's going on with the Intertech stuff. So I'm going to do com.intertech. Now I have a couple options. I can start profiling from a very specific class and just put that name, like I could say com.intertech.profiler. Deadlock, which is the class I made. Or if I want to go for a specific package, everything that's in a package, I can say .star. Let's get everything that's in the profiler package. Or finally, I can do 2 stars, 2 asterisks, and that says grab everything that's in the profiler and every subsequent package that's below it, so recursively. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to get rid of the Catalina. Now you'll still see some Catalina stuff in there, but it's going to reduce some of the Catalina calls that are made. Below that, I can have specific classes that I do not want to profile or classes that I do want to profile. In this case, I'm saying, look, don't give me information on the regular Java, JavaX, Sun, etc. Don't need any information on that. So now that I've done that, what I can do is we can start looking at the CPU. Let's run that. All right, so nothing's happening quite yet. I'm going to go back into this area and actually start a web page. By the way, I want to go back here to the console, and you'll again notice that on your console, the profiler is sending messages. So it's been able to make a connection with the tool. If there's any specific error messages, those will show up in your console as well. All right, so I'm just going to click on something so we get a little bit of action. Go back here, and now you can see that we're starting to get some information. I am getting still quite a bit of org Apache stuff, so I'm going to want to filter this. I'm just not interested in performance tuning Apache at this moment for this purpose. So what I'm going to do is put in this bottom section here, com.intertech. And what we'll do is, nothing is available quite yet. Let's see if we can run some extra stuff and see if things come out. And I know exactly what I did. I'm not using the profiler package. Let me just stop this really quickly. So what I've done is I went a little too far. I went a little too deep, and I said, listen, I'm not interested in any of the other stuff from Intertech unless it's com.intertech.profiler. And I really want to go back a little bit, and I want to get everything that's com.intertech. So let me save that, and we'll try connecting again. See if we can get some information. Profiler is running. Just click around a little bit, get a couple of things. And now I'm going to refresh it, and there we go. So now you can see, and we'll look at this in the real code. I don't want to worry about troubleshooting right now, but you can see that, oh, here's a method that took a long time to execute. So that took 3005. That was 100% of the time. It was invocated 7 times. It's been called 7 different times. So again, I'm able to identify very quickly a bottleneck. We have some options here for our profiling results. If I wanted to automatically update, I can click on this, and it will just periodically poll and keep updating this information should that change. Otherwise, I can click here to run garbage collection. I can reset all the calls in my buffer. I can take a snapshot. So this would be a CPU snapshot. Or here I can actually save this to an image if I wanted to send this in an email to someone or post it on a website, what's going on. So that's CPU profiling. I'm going to stop that. Give it a second to clear itself. All right, profiling is inactive. So now what I'm going to do is click on the memory. All right, there we go. And again, I'm just going to click on some stuff. Get it to do a little bit of work. And here we go. We've got a lot of different things that are being displayed here. So I can take a look and see, how many of these objects have been created for this particular class. I can see, how many are live right now. And so this can give me an idea of different objects that are, just again, taking too much space.
For more free learning resources and to see the latest lineup of our instructor-led .NET, Java, and XML courses, visit us at www.intertech.com.